And here we are, back at week 6, where I personally have had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. It was it was a really up and down week for me, honestly, but, you know, for a moment I was about to be like, why would you care? But at the same time, nobody would be caring about this because nobody's going to be seeing it. And the people that are watching it probably do care enough to listen to this. And or it's me trying to regain all my memories. So I need to shut up and get on with what happened. This week, I mentioned the Monster Pizza like 2 weeks ago that I was going to do with Alex. And that happened this last weekend, last Sunday. And boy, oh boy, it was a struggle. Let me walk you through it. We went in with all like the pep in the world. We ordered the Monster Pizza, and we were greeted by all the employees giving us weird looks like, "Oh, here are the idiots." We see the pizza get popped in the oven, and my God, it's a beast. You don't understand how much 28 inches of pure pizza is until you see it in person. One like really northern lady walked by us and was like, "Oh my goodness, that's so big. I could take that off and put it as one of my tires." Which just about made my night. And I tried to record, or I wanted to record it like on my camera or something like that, but things just got away from me and I ended up not bringing it, but it was very well documented through all the other people that went there, namely Alex and Haley. Or no, not Alex, Colin. Colin and Haley. And you can see in like chronological order, just like we go from super happy cracking jokes and stuff like that to just looking like we're dead men walking. And at one point, Alex is like crying. I don't know why he's crying. I think we just like got so into like the food and we were just so damn full that we were just like bursting at the seams and just losing our conscience and everything. He threatened me to watch Tron Uprising for the entirety of the rest of the night, and I was like, "Dude, if you make me watch that, I will send a spear through that TV." Which, it's the offer still stands. If I end up like super bloated, super like sick from eating something, I will send a spear through that TV if he forces me to watch Tron Uprising during that moment in time. It got to the point where like we were just like staring at the pieces of pizza in our hands, just like taking little nibbles out of it, trying to like get it through. Eventually, it just started tasting like wet, used sponges, and it was not good. The pizza itself was pretty good. Polito's is a very nice pizza place. But once you eat 28 inches of that madness, then you don't really have an appetite for pizza for the next, week. I'm still probably going to order pizza over this weekend because I have lots of Pizza Hut points saved up, and I need to spend them in some way or another. I also need to get that video edited for my parents so they can see just the kind of stuff we went through. But that aside, eventually Colin and Trevor like took our spots and like tried to knock it off in like one last hurrah, but they couldn't do it. They were already eating while we were eating, and it was just like, oh no, it's just not worth it. I'm not sure we got halfway done. Alex was saying like how we were more than halfway done at the point, or how we got like 2/3 of the pizza done. I really don't believe we did, because there's the outside, which we crushed. We did that. But then there's like the inside where like 80% of its mass comes from, and we didn't get that far into the middle, so I'm wondering if we even did get halfway through. I really don't think we did, but that's whatever. We did alright considering everything else, and the fact that we wanted to actually just keel over and die at that moment. But yeah, Colin and Trevor tried their hand at it, and it made them sick as well. And it's just like I've never seen a pizza floor four different people, while two of them were barely even eating the whole thing. It was nuts, and it's a powerful thing, man. The monster pizza needs to be feared, like the monster it is. That being said, it was just a fun time. I admittedly was kind of, playing it up for the moment of the time. But legitimately, there was one moment where I spaced out and just, I didn't take in any sort of like sensory info around me. I was just staring straight forward, not thinking, not listening, not doing anything, but just looking forward. And I just kind of like snapped back to and was like, "Oh God, what happened? Where am I?" And it's just like, my God, it was a nuts time. And I also blacked out a little bit because Alex had to tell me a joke that I made. I don't remember it. I have it written down just because like I still don't remember this. He was like, how you feeling there, Ryan? And I stared at him and I was like, even if I was balls deep in Shakira, I still wouldn't be feeling anything good. Which I don't remember saying that, but I guess that is what I said during that moment of crisis. And the worst part of my night came when I had to use the bathroom. And if anybody's listening to this, why are you listening to this? First of all, there's no reason for you to be listening to this, but it's getting like into really crappy stuff like toilet stuff. So, you have been warned. Skip to like, I'm gonna say 2 minutes to try and avoid all of this. You're not gonna miss anything great. But I went to the bathroom and I like sat down and all of my crap was just liquid. It was not great. It was just, I was sitting there also for so long that I thought the employees had come to ask me if I was alright, but it turns out it was Trevor. He was like, "You alright, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, good." And it's just, I didn't know when it was gonna stop. I, that was the point in time where I was like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna happen." So after I was done, I just cleaned myself up, and that was it. That was the worst part of the night, and damn, I feel awful because of it. But it was still fun. I don't know. I may put up a little bit of a smash cut of what footage we do have on Frogman or something, but it was something else, man. Monster Pizza does not mess around. So apparently, I should have taken this as a warning for the rest of the week. Monday we were recording the Sports Hub, and just we had a technical problem. It wasn't technical problems because it was just one big problem. Uh, where the TriCaster like literally ran out of memory to record things. So halfway between the first and second take, they just it just stopped recording, and we lost the entirety of the recording session that we had done there. And we were just like, "Oh God, we have to redo it all," and that was no fun for everyone. And things like that happen, and we had the possibility of being able to re-record it, but one of the people that starred in it, Alex Strofe, was had to get to a class later that day. So we were just like, okay, we need to get this finished up real quick, and we just got to go. So, eventually we did it, but it just kind of like set the whole mood for the rest of the week because there were a lot of technical problems over this whole week. not just for SBTV, but for me as well. And, now that I'm saying that, I'm really hoping that this recording itself does not crap out, because that would suck. That would really, really suck. If I just sat here for about an hour or something and I find out that the recording is corrupted. Hasn't happened yet, but that's probably because everything is just so simple. It's just one microphone, and that's it. One microphone, one recording software, one computer, a power supply for that microphone. I need to press the power button, but even if I forgot to hit the power button, I could see the levels right in front of me. That's a little look into my setup. It's really janky, if in all honesty. And it's whatever. It's not like I need this glorious setup for anything. What the hell was I talking about? Yeah, more about the Sports Hub. There also became a little problem where Jackson couldn't stop dropping F-bombs during the recording sessions. And it happened like once in the heat of the moment where he was just like getting really passionate about something, and he just like said something like, and these guys are just like working their fucking hearts out. And at that moment when he said it, he just froze and just like deer in the headlights, stare at the camera, and then just like meekly finished his thought. And Alex picked up after that. They didn't acknowledge it at all, which I thought was hilarious. And then they cut to commercial break. We lost all the footage, and we had to start again. Once they finished the first section, and they came back from break, Jackson, in a like joking manner, was like, "Fuck," which ended up being on the recording. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, we ended up having 2 F-bombs throughout that whole recording session. And yeah, I guess that's how Sports Hub works. It's a lot less serious than the newscast, so it is whatever. Oh yeah. And during the whole like technical problems with the storage stuff, I felt absolutely useless because I didn't know how to figure out the problem, and the TriCast or something I haven't had any experience in, so like I don't know how to fix anything. The next day, however, was pretty good because it started off with my comm teacher just slamming a bunch of stuff down, just like she fired in and was like yelling, "Yeah, movies! We get to learn about movies today!" She was just trying to get everybody else in the class hyped up by like slamming papers on her desk and something like that. And another teacher came in and she just like meagerly said, "Is everything okay in here?" And my comm teacher had to be like, "Yeah, I'm just kind of excited about what we're teaching today. I'm gonna learn about movies, you know." And the other teacher was just kind of, "Oh, okay, just wanted to make sure everything was okay in there." And she hung around for like 2 minutes before she decided it was safe and left. It was interesting. It was probably the best opening experience that I've had for that comm class. It was so good. I've also been. This is part of one of the highs of this week. I was just like going through with my brother and revising the rules to the game show and stuff like that. Turns out a 2-point system for a 20-minute game show is a very poor idea. Surprise, surprise. So I revised it so where the first person to buzz in gets more points, incentivizing people to like tune in to buzz in sooner, that kind of stuff. So it's coming along. I sent the full plans to my higher up so she can look at them, and if she has any more questions, then I'll be looking at that. And if I pause at all during this whole thing, then I'm just like checking my email to be sure that I'm not going to miss her email back. So like because like I really want to kind of like do this, and I'm also gonna pause right here so I can use the bathroom because it is not feeling good right now. Half expected my computer to be turned off by the time I got back. So it's been doing that for quite a bit, so I just kind of expected it to be just like, I'm shut off now. The game show, yeah, sent it off to be. Hopefully she likes it. Hopefully I can get some people to like come on for the show, because at the moment I don't have anybody lined up to do it. I just have the concept alone. Oh, there goes my mic. It's falling now. Wait for it. Well, that was less of a impact than I thought it was. What the heck? The little sticky thing on my mic my mic holder is not working, so it just kind of fell off, and I'm trying to fix this as I'm going, so sorry if the audio is a little bit inconsistent at this point. Ow, God, just smacked myself. Don't know why it's doing this. Sorry for like such the long pause. Let me see the next thing in my notebook. Verbal contestants, I know about that notebook. Let's talk about Leslie in my wildlife class. Her name isn't actually Leslie, but she looks like Leslie from Big Bang Theory. Yeah. So the last class of like wildlife, before the one that I had on Tuesday, no Monday, I don't know, whatever class it was, uh, she mentioned how the general, that's another class, it's not his name, but that's the one I've given him. He presented like a photo safari in the last class, and apparently one time he got like applause for it at the end of it, and he was telling Leslie that he was disappointed nobody was applauding the photo safari when he did it for our class. And she was saying like how upset he was. It was like, well, I guess this time it wasn't a standing ovation. It was like, are you trying to guilt us into enjoying this class? We either enjoy it or we don't. I'm sure if you had a class full of like wildlife majors, then you would have gotten like some sort of positive recognition. But you literally have the most diverse set of majors you've ever seen. Nobody's gonna give a crap. That's whatever. It's whatever. Now, excuse me while I try and fix my microphone. Alright, sorry about that. No, I'm not editing that out because that defeats the whole purpose of this whole thing. Um, yeah, the general was trying to guilt trip us into enjoying his stupid, dumb picture tour that you can literally get off of searching on Google. So, whatever. That's the unfortunate part about wildlife is that it's like so. I'm sorry about the bad audio. That Can you hear me now? No, that still looks bad. I'm so sorry for this. I'm still learning how to like get my pop filter in an optimal position where I can talk into the mic. Okay, how's this? This looks better. Okay. I'm so sorry about that. I'm still trying to learn how to get the pop filter into an optimal spot and like still be comfortable talking to the microphone. So I'm still learning how to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, the general's trying to like guilt trip us into enjoying his picture tour, which again you can just look on Google and get the same experience. So like, sorry, but your whole thing was kind of ruined by previous exposure, which it's rough. Yeah, I get it, but the people who drive technology forward are not gonna like wait for you're okay to do things. So I don't feel that sorry for knowing for like seeing pictures of those things already and not being wowed by them. I don't know. It's me, but I just don't care about that kind of stuff. I don't much care for seeing the Jaguar in a picture. The story surrounding it was interesting. That much I can say. He does tell an interesting story about how he got that picture, so, if anything, you can take that to your grave. Um, Getting more bored in history. It's just kind of a class right now. A class that I barely do homework for and barely pass quizzes on. These past few quizzes, I've gotten pretty lucky and gotten pretty decent scores on them, but I don't feel adequate enough to like do a midterm in that class. But maybe I'll surprise myself. It's just taking it 1 week at a time, honestly. Just get it done. Get it fun. Yep. That's my motto. I'm actually going to turn myself up a bit mid thing because my audio levels are not looking good right now. How am I looking now? How am I looking now? How am I looking now? That's looking better. So that's cool. But yeah, the precursor of the bad technology on Monday hit me hard on Thursday. I started off the day by leaving my room without my phone charger, so I'm like, oh great, my phone has a limited life on him. But then it compounded by like, so my school does a thing where you have to change your password every 6 months or something, basically every semester, for like security reasons, and I get that, that's fine. But normally they email you saying like, hey, you're gonna get locked out of your thing if your accounts if you don't change your password. And normally I'm use that to be like, all right, time to change it. So then I change it. I didn't get any emails this time around, and Thursday I was locked out of everything that required my account to work. And for those of you that live on a campus, you know how devastating that can be because you're locked out of your email, you're locked out of your class online classroom areas, and worst of all, you're locked completely out of the basic internet that is on campus. So I had no way to get emails of the upcoming broadcast for that day. I got no information on my classes at all, and I also couldn't use the internet to change my password because then I'd have to like stop, take out my computer, sign into the public internet, and then try to sort things out there. The problem with that is that I didn't have enough time to sort that through, so all day I just had no internet. And when I was trying to get, and then after my classes, when I was trying to get, and like during one of my classes, we were trying to like look up plays and such that we were going to do for a group project, and I couldn't contribute to my group because I didn't have any internet to like search things up for. So, that's great. I look like a complete tool to the people that I'm supposed to be working with. But what else is a problem? That's no problem with me, right? I'm the lone wolf. God. hopefully that goes well. Script analysis would have been fine if I just wasn't stuck in a group of a bunch of pretentious theater majors. Which, I'm sorry to like you throw that label around, but honestly, if you just take a second in that class, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody there is just kind of like on their own thing, which is it's a little harsh to say. They're just doing what they do, and that's fine. Whatever works for them. Especially if it works well, because I've seen the productions that Stevens Point puts up, and they're very good. So whatever works, it works, and they do very well. They do so well there. But yeah, I mentioned it a while ago that we spent an entire class period questioning a playwright on what she wanted in the play and stuff like that. And they went for an hour and 15 minutes and could have gotten more if they wanted to. And it's like, you're asking questions of nonsense most of the time. Because, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of like a finite mindset when it comes to these things. But I just don't see the reason in asking if character X was alluding to the action in scene Y or something like that. I don't know. I like seeing that kind of stuff, but for some reason in this context, it was just too obnoxious for me to handle. I can't think of any specific examples, but what was it? What was it? What was it? What was it? I don't know. It just makes me feel like that these people don't ask themselves the questions. They just ask the writer the question to try and fill it in for themselves instead of like using their imagination or something like that. Because like from what I got out of that was something completely different that nobody talked about. And, I thought that was a missed opportunity. But I wasn't going to join in the conversation because fuck that. God dang it. 27, 28. I suck. I'm like Jackson. I need to work on not saying that. And I don't even have my pencil anymore because I lost it. I'm sorry again. I'm an amateur. What can I say? I'll soon be professional. Nah, no I won't. I But yeah, back on the road of technology since I that recentered my whole thing. Uh I looked like a complete tool in front of my group, and then I went back to my room to call the IT department to try and get that going, to try and get that back online. It turns out, in between my script analysis class and me getting back to my room, one of the staff told me that I would be anchoring tonight because the team had no anchors for that day. Cool. I'll anchor. I'll anchor all day. I don't care. I can do it. I won't do it great, but I can fill the spot if I need to. So I've got to like get myself dressed up for that, but I've also got to call the IT department to make sure that works. And like for freaking, I don't know why, but trying to recover my password or reset it on the uh on the school's thing just doesn't work ever, and I don't understand why. You go to change the password and it's like, oh, enter in your stuff, and it's like confirm for resubmission, and then it's just like, oh, enter in your stuff, confirm for resubmission, and it's like, who designed this to make it undo the progress that you've already put in? It's stupid. And now the guy And now the people are moving garbage cans again, and it's really distracting. Why do they move it at this time? It's like they have a set schedule. Um, yeah, I had to call the IT department, and they had me read out the questions that they gave me. Um, I got a temporary password. It didn't work. I eventually went back to the web page of like recovery or password, and it finally worked for no reason. No reason at all. It was just like, oh yeah, we'll decide to work now. That was infuriating. But I changed my password. I'm back on the internet, and now everything's like hunky dory, and I don't have to. I don't have to remember any of this ever again. It's stupid, man. It's really, really dumb. And then once the SPTV broadcast started, they threw a curveball at me saying they wanted to do this as like a live stream. They wanted to start getting in the groove of live streaming newscasts, so like they didn't have to edit or something like that. Uh, it didn't work. I made the first mistake of the night by talking during the bump, and I don't know if they'll have to edit that out or something like that, but it really messed up royally there. The next mistake came when the teleprompter turned black. Like the letters are like white on a black background, and when people are copy pasting the script, and sometimes they forget like, oh, we have to change everything back, otherwise, it'll show up wrong on the teleprompter, and then people can't read it and they look like fools. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to my co-anchor, so that's why. Yeah, she did a really good job, the co-anchor. Whatever. We tried to set up for the live stream, but eventually just kind of like went back into the same groove. It wasn't a problem of like everything set up wrong. It was just execution wise, it didn't work out because we had messed up so many times before, and nobody was in the mood to try and rush things along. That, and there wasn't enough resources to go around to execute that whole thing. So it's like, what's the point in trying if we can't even do it? Yeah, it just felt like a weird broadcast to me. Just like not right, and things could have been way better than it did. That, and the newscasts and then like the news stories that we had were just written so bizarrely, just like very strange wording and all that. I'm wondering if like somebody else wrote it this time than normal. There was definitely somebody new running the teleprompter, because like I almost lost my spot during it, and that was a moment of panic for me. I'm gonna go back and review it just so like I can get better at it, but maybe I can fix how I act under certain pressures like that. Everything else was kind of fine. The floor director didn't know, was kind of like not assertive enough to command attention or anything like that. Which I get. Sometimes it's hard to get yourself to pull up like that, but for situations like that, you just gotta balls to the walls and just act as if you know what you're doing. Which is a poor thing to admit, but most of the time I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just winging it hard, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes it really, really works out. Yeah, that newscast was fine. Earlier today, Florence came by and was like, "Hey Ryan, you got a pretty nice picture for this newscast." I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" And she was like super cryptic with what she meant, and I'm a little scared to watch it, but what can I do? I've got to see how things can improve there. So, oh, that was also another thing. They mentioned a while ago that they asked me if I would like want to be a staff on SPTV, and I'm like, yeah, I would like that. I'd like to get paid for what I do here, because everything I do now is basically volunteer work. That, and I work the cameras pretty alright, so it's like whatever. I'm probably like the most proficient at the cameras at the moment, but that's because like nobody else bothers to do it, and I'm just there like fuck. I am the worst today. I'm just the worst. I'm like Jackson. I get caught up in my own stuff, and I just let myself fly too much. That's the point, you know. That's the point of this whole thing. But I'm also trying to exercise self control, which is why I am restricting myself at least a little bit. You can't have total freedom because then you just have nothing. Um, but yeah, I'm the only one on the team that's like, yeah, cameras, I can do that. And I film most of the stuff, so I'm trying to be like an all around type person where I can record, I can like set up the camera shots, I can be in front of the camera, I can like set up the TriCaster, stuff like that. I kind of want to be like a little bit of everything because that's what I've done most of my life, and this seems like a very good spot to be like I can do anything you need me to. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to get across. What would that be? Like general producer type person? I gotta learn how to run the TriCaster, but I think that's just about it because I've done the teleprompter, I've done the cameras, I've done anchoring, I've done lighting. TriCaster's the only thing that I need done or need to get experience in. And you know, maybe once that game show gets greenlit or starts up, then maybe I'll learn how to do that. Still haven't gotten an email back from B about that, so we're still waiting. We are still waiting. What the heck? Oh no, we're fine. We're fine. I just saw something on my phone and I freaked out. We're good. We're good. Um. Wow, I have so many notes on the day the technology abandoned me. Yeah, the weirdest thing about everything is that I lost all my power like walking to script analysis, and I didn't have my charger, so I couldn't plug it into the wall like I usually do. But like I was sitting in class and the blue LED was just glowing on the desk. Just it claimed it was at 0% power and nothing else. So I'm like, all right, do you have power or do you not have power? I can see you expending power right there when you don't seem to have a problem with it. But I can't, the phone can't talk back to me, so it's just sitting there all guilty like whatever. But then right in the middle of my desk, no charger, not even close to a wall outlet or anything like that, it shows the charging symbol. And I'm like, what are you trying to pull here? Are you trying to pull the wool over my eyes and say that you are charging? Sir, you are not doing dick. You are not doing at all the thing that you want that I want you to be doing. But yeah, I eventually got everything back under control, and you know, today there hasn't been any technological problems yet. I did try to wrestle with a projector to see if I could get that to turn on, but I think that is just a case of everything is so unintuitive there that it's just hard to work with. For the creation team, our leader got a conference room with like a projector, and he wanted to put stuff up there, but it just wasn't working, and there was a set of instructions on how to get it to work. And he couldn't get it to work. I fiddled with it for a bit. I couldn't get it to work because I couldn't see any like clear on button, and all the wires and stuff were just like useless. So that was just a case of like it not working. We also planned a shoot for an anti-smoking commercial, which is going to be hilarious. Yeah, goodness. I honestly don't have much to say else. I'm gonna vamp it out till 40 minutes because that's a nice number, but just like a bunch of highs, a bunch of lows, and Now I'm just waiting for things to pan out because. Oh, I should also mention I'm learning how to work After Effects because I've seen a bunch of jobs and such that require a little bit of experience in After Effects. So I'm getting a little bit of a hang of it. I'm by all means not at all good at it. So don't get that impression out of me. But it's a lot more intuitive than I initially thought, which is a dangerous thing to say, but if you have any sort of if you have any sort of like experience with Photoshop at all, you'll be able to slide right into that. It's just my brother a long time explained it as the Photoshop for videos, and I thought that was just kind of weird, but he's absolutely right. The one who worked with Photoshop for years before I even looked at it, so he knows what he's talking about. I should get tips from him later on, maybe over the summer or something like that. But yeah, I'm trying to work on that graphic for the show that isn't even greenlit yet, so it probably could just end up being nothing. So, yeah, I really hope that this goes through because then I'll be able to, like, show that I'm doing something in college. And it'd be like a great resume booster for freaking sure. Yeah. Hopefully I can get help on that graphic because at the moment it is serving some sort of function, but it does not look good. It does not look good at all. I I've yet to figure out the finer points of like dramatic movement and such like that for it. And even right now I'm thinking of something that can be fixed on it. So it's going to take me a while to get that completed, but I think once I finish it out, it'll probably look just okay. I don't think it'll be amazing. It definitely won't be amazing. I'm a guy that's just learning how to use After Effects, so it doesn't have to be a knockout of the park. That or if it sucks so bad, somebody else can help me how to make it better and show me how to like do things better and stuff like that. I hope. I hope. I hope that this goes through because I really like this idea and it's right in my wheelhouse where I can talk about stuff I like and not have to look like a fool for once. I'm also really hoping that since I'm a sophomore, I can continue working on this and make it a much more recurring show than all the other shows that have happened before. Because I did take a look at all the other shows, i.e., Love Doctor and Trivia Thing. I don't know, but I looked at the other shows and just like try to get a little bit of what have you for what's to be expected for a show like that. So I'm really hoping for this. I think I have a neat spin on it. It's a lot different than what SBTV has been from what I've seen. It's going to work a lot like some of the internet shows that I've seen, like Chump from Rooster Teeth, that kind of thing. And it's more about the interactions between the people that are on the show rather than like the questions and content itself, which I think is a pretty neat idea. Sell the video games, but come back for the people that are doing it, that kind of thing. The only problem with that is I don't know if I'll be able to be good enough to sell that, and I don't know if the contestants themselves will be enthusiastic or as willing to be on camera as other people will be. Or even if I do find people that are willing to be in front of camera, whether they'll be enthusiastic about the stuff we talk about. And that's kind of the problem that I'm facing at the moment. Just a lack of participants and such. But Nate said he would get me in line with the Video Game Enthusiast Club, which is a very, very good start. But I've been there once or twice before, and I have no clue as to like the personality and such of the people there. So it turns out that I'm not ready for it, or the people that I get on there just aren't good enough, then maybe this will just fall by the wayside, and I'll try and come up with a different show. But yeah, that's basically what's going through my mind. It's it's a scary time being me. I'm right at the precipice of something that is really cool and something that I can do, and I'm just waiting for the okay from everyone else to get it going. On the same note, I'm also looking at doing a promotional segment for the Sports Hub, which will be easy as hell. Which will be easy as hell to do. I I've been working with Sports Hub for quite a bit, so I kind of know what to expect for like promotional stuff and all that. So I don't need to do too much to work with that, but I'll have to email Mike and just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be doing this. What do you want from me?" And that'll be easy to do. That'd be like a quick, maybe 3-day job with editing and all that. So great. Now I'm trying to vamp till 40 or 50, but that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen because I am all out of stuff to do or stuff to talk about. So thanks for letting me spill my thoughts to you if you're listening. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. And if you're me from the future who lost your memory, stay strong, buddy. Thank you.